Long time no see, everyone. It's your old mate Chicagon back at it again. This time with a bit of an update to these. My Rick Owens Laceless Ramones. So as always, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comments are also really appreciated as well. So for those playing at home, these are a shoe that I picked up quite some time ago and I loved them, but they fell apart almost immediately around the midsole. They cracked, and then I went in to get them fixed at a cobbler who put this leather band around both shoes to sort of hold them all in place and prevent the midsole from breaking anymore or completely coming apart. And now that a good chunk of time has passed and I have worn them a few times, especially last week, I figured it'd be a good time to, do a post-mortem on the shoes and where they're at now in terms of holding up. Like, are they still wearable and usable, or are they not looking so good? And the answer here is a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. So looking at the left shoe, this one didn't have really as much damage on it and it's looking pretty good. There's not really any structural issues. As you can see, the paint finish that they put on is starting to come off a bit, but it's not really noticeable when you are wearing them. A bit closer here on the edges that you can see that the midsole has cracked in a couple of places and this is holding it in. This also doesn't really exacerbate too much when you bend. You can see that it comes apart a little bit, but it's not too egregious. However, the other shoe, this was the one that had some more significant problems and they are pretty bad now. If you can see in here, the midsole has actually come completely off and you can only see the stitching sort of holding in there. And this band has started to come off as well, revealing the broken midsole further up the shoe. This also becomes worse when you are walking in them. As you can see there, it does get a lot larger. It really stresses me out as it does look like it's getting worse. And it's something that I did contact the cobbler with this information about a month or two ago. And they said that since their grace period of 90 days had passed, it would have to be another operation to fix the shoes even further, which really bothered me, to be honest, because this was a pretty dear process to get them fixed. And the fact that, they're not properly fixed and falling apart off not a lot of wear. Yeah, it's pretty unfair, but I didn't really pursue it. I was like, look, I'm just not going to put more money into these shoes. I'll just keep wearing them until they fall apart. And that's where we are today. A couple of further things to note, which I'm not sure whether we discussed them in the last video regarding these shoes, was that the sole has come off a couple of times. Now, this is something that did happen with my Ramones, my first pair of Ramones, multiple times, but I've just been going to a cobbler close by and for $5 to $10, they just re-glue it. He always says, I can't guarantee that it's going to hold it properly, but it's much better than going to another cobbler, spending upwards of $200 for them to completely remove the soles and reattach them. I just don't want to put that much more money into these shoes when they're in their sunset years, I guess is a better way to put it. Like, getting that process done isn't going to fix the midsole any better, and as a result, I just don't think it's worth it. Besides that though, the uppers are still in excellent condition. There's not really any wear or tear inside or outside the shoes, which is really great to see. It's just the midsole. The midsole is something that I'm noticing on a lot of Rick shoes that I've had. It's just not the best, and that might just be luck of the draw, but I hate it. I hate that so much, and I hate the fact that they are breaking and falling apart just from existing. Like, I'm not really putting them through their paces or anything. I'm using them as a shoe. A quick look at the soles as well. The heels are okay. I mean, the same sort of heel drag that is really common across Rick shoes, but it's not that bad compared to other pairs of Rick shoes that I have that in a similar period of time are almost like destroyed, and you really need to look into getting either heel taps or getting the soles replaced. I reckon you should probably do that as soon as you get the shoes, to be fair. A friend in Japan says that he's been to his cobbler and there have been people there with their brand new pairs of Ricks getting them resold immediately, and I would have to agree that that is a really good idea considering how quickly they fall apart. or more specifically, deteriorate. So all in all, it's really interesting because I did praise the cobbler so much that worked on these to fix them initially, but would I go back to them? No, I would definitely not. I think it's much better to shop around and get quotes from elsewhere because I've taken these shoes to a different cobbler, my current one, to get them glued, and they were shocked at what had been done. And when they asked how much it had cost and I told them, they were just like, I think you paid way too much for that job and they could have potentially done something different. So shopping around is the key here. That's the thing. Let's have a look at these on foot. So I still think they look pretty good. I really, really love the boot silhouette. I often just wear them with the tongues in. I'm never very confident to wear them with the tongues out as it does become very, very large and oppressive. But you know, it's part of the journey. We'll figure it out and make that happen. But yeah, these look great on foot. They look really, really good with pants tucked in and also kind of like sneaking out from beneath pants to get away with the silhouette of just a regular Ramones shoe, if that's your vibe. So yeah, that's a bit of a post-mortem on these shoes quite a few months down the track. I should probably do one on the Geo baskets as well and sort of keep you all updated with how they are a year down the track from the resoling I'd had done with that. I should probably do that with the shoes that I do get fixed as well, just to, I don't know, document not just for you, but for myself, where we are at this stage with the shoes and getting them fixed and going through the whole rigmarole process of trying to keep them alive and healthy and wearable. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're all taking care of yourselves. Be safe, have fun, and as always, don't do anything I'd do, except shop around when you're going to get something cobbled, your shoes fixed. Go to different cobblers. There's usually a few around, perhaps in like your central business district, CBD, or maybe your local neighborhood. Hopefully they're around so you can at least get differing opinions rather than just going to one very, very popular one and then them giving you a quote and you thinking, well, I guess you're the best, so let's go ahead and do it, and ending up where I am. Would I have been somewhere different? I don't know. Let's not think about that. But yeah, you'll take care. Bye-bye.